The Ancore Pro packs the ease of use and functionality of a functional trainer into an incredibly small package. Today is their 6-year anniversary, so I'm gonna try to crash the party and see how many of them are actually subscribed to my YouTube channel. The No Fake channel checking in, and we are here at Ancore Headquarters, and it is, yes, their 6-year anniversary. And not only are we going to go over the Ancore Pro, which is put together, designed, engineered, and assembled right here in the United States of America, and hell, my home state of Massachusetts. We are going to talk and look at their brand new product that's set to be released this fall and give you a tour of this fabulous facility. You know I can't come to the Ancore Headquarters without seeing what type of training facilities they've got here. But the real claim to fame on a product is if professionals actually use it in their day-to-day training, because their livelihood is literally on the line, and it matters as far as their pocketbook too. Now the pennants behind me, this massive wall, are just some of the teams, both collegiate and professional, that have adopted the Ancore Pro into their training system. We're talking MLB, NBA, NCAA.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And when it comes to any type of gym equipment, you want something that you can set up easily, quickly, and effectively. And one of the things I really liked about the Ancore Pro is you've got to choose your own adventure on how you can set this up. It comes with a strap, so you can wrap this thing around your power rack. You can wrap it around a pole at the playground. You can even wrap it around a treadmill. They also have developed this rack mount option, which is quick on, quick off, and this thing locks it into place like it is cement.
Job's done.
Here we have the wall-mounted rail, and you can probably guess why so many people with small home gyms or even physical therapists themselves have adopted this version, because all you do, spin that knob and you can slide it up or down wherever you want it and put it back into place. And as you can see, it takes up literally zero space. You're off the wall about 7 inches when this is attached, and when it's not, maybe 1.5 inches. And this little beaut is their brainchild, 3 years in the making. They listened to feedback and they have improved upon their Ancore Pro, making a heavy duty version that goes all the way up to 80 pounds. Now this is going to be the final version that ships apparently in the fall, but it doesn't even have a name yet. And the beauty of this is not only does it go heavy up to 80 pounds, but you don't have to keep track of the plates. It's all a turn of the wrist down here, and you can adjust it higher or lower in a blink of an eye. And this is the massive part of the Ancore warehouse where everything gets done. They test the components for quality control, they assemble, unbox all of the units. And then they develop and ship everything from I'll tell you, it is something else to see everything created under one roof. From the design, the engineering, the quality control, the assembly, the packaging, the handwritten notes, and the shipping. This place operates like a well-oiled machine. And I'm here with the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, one of the inventors of the Ancore. We've got Isaac. Necessity is the mother of invention. Tell me your why. Tell me why you decided to create the Ancore.
When I was in college, I was playing baseball, and I had a really bad shoulder injury. Dove for a ball in the outfield, dislocated my shoulder, needed a labor room repair, reconstructive surgery. And so for me, the only thing I was thinking about was I want to make a comeback, keep playing. And so right after the surgery, after doing rehab and getting mobility back, the piece of equipment that I used a ton with the athletic trainer to build back strength was the cable machine. And one of the things that I realized, well, this is really great because it's easy on joints, change resistance easily. You can work in so many planes. Like cable training is really great. Always knew it, but never really used it that much because the observation that I had next was, well, if it's so great, why does our varsity weight room have one cable machine?
For about
right?
like 50
So you've
dudes who
got
all want to
20
use it.
racks and one cable machine. And that was why I never used it in the weight room before that either, is because it was never in our programming, because there's one of it just didn't make sense. And then I thought, well, why is there only one? And it's because, well, they're really big, they take up a lot of space, they're bulky, they're heavy, you can't move them around. But the main thing at the end of the day too is, beyond the space, is they're expensive. Traditional cable machine in a commercial facility like that is thousands of dollars. Yes. So the idea was, well, is there any way to take a good feeling cable, a smooth cable, and make it, and the word we use is more accessible, right? So whether it's smaller, more adaptable, versatile, but better price point too, more accessible, where you could have cable training anywhere regardless of what the space layout was.
But much like Steve Jobs, you started in your garage. Obviously, when people see this, they only see the success. Tell me about the bootstrapping.
We chipped in a few $1,000s each to buy a 3D printer. So we bought a high quality 3D printer where, you could fully use the product, right? We could give it to someone, they could try it out. There was no holding back. The only issue was that 3D printing a full unit, you know how long it would take to print one?
I can't imagine.
3 days.
Oh,
so
geez.
Not scalable, right, at that point. But it allowed us to iterate. 3D printers are amazing for prototyping. So that gave us kind of that original design and tweaking it. But part of it too was, even though we only had a couple products, we were able to validate, would someone actually buy it? Because it was fully usable.
Yeah.
And we had customers who wanted to buy it. And so very early on, we set up shop in Nathaniel's dad's garage in Swampscott, Mass. So one town over from where we are now. His parents, let us use the garage. We took it over and basically started, building these with a 3D printer. And the next stage was, well, how do we get more of these parts? Because it's really slow. And Nathaniel and I had chipped in all the money, to originally basically get the tooling made and get that first round of inventory in. And we basically just built it ourselves in the garage. So we had no rent. We weren't paying anyone anything. So basically it was just the cost of the product to get it out. The biggest kind of early break was one of our very early customers was he was a strength conditioning coach in Vermont named Adrian Geyer, and he was doing a consulting call at the time with the New Jersey Devils on a Zoom. And at the end of it, he basically just demoed the product in his gym, saying hey, this is something cool I have. Have you guys ever seen this? And they were like, no, what the heck is that? And then right away we got a call from the Devils. They wanted the product. Once they got it, a bunch of their players wanted it for their home gyms.
Yeah.
And then at that level, they talk quite closely. So everyone kind of looks at, well, what is everyone else using? And so then the coach of the New York Rangers reached out, and the coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and so on. And it kind of just trickled to the league, where out of the garage, the units we're building, we're going to the NHL, because even though they have amazing home facilities with all, hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in there, they're on the road 5 months of the year. And so this was kind of for them a puzzle piece of, hey, well, I can get cables on the road.
All right, Isaac, I want to know about this brute. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is going to be the brand new unit coming out in a couple months. And the big thing is that, yes, it is a bit bigger, but it comes with a lot of added benefits. And the design really focuses on, us thinking about a more, what we'll call commercial customer in mind. That's what definitely drove this, because we had so many, customers taking that unit and looking to use it in these, what we'll call unsupervised training environments, where there's no coach and trainer, it's sitting on an open floor. And our product works amazing in a supervised environment. Right now, whether there's a trainer or coach or clinician, someone's there, mainly because that Ancore PRO, it's got that really neat resistance plate system, but having loose pieces means that someone could walk away.
Yeah.
Whether that's stolen or lost. And then also, even though it's so easy to learn how to do them, put them on, it takes 10-second tutorial, that's enough of a barrier where someone could walk up to it and not know what to do, and they're gonna turn somewhere else. So for us, it was hey, can you make something where anyone could walk up to it, see it, and figure out, okay, that's it, change resistance, I can move the handle up and down, really easy. So that was a huge part of it, and that meant changing the whole design. So it's a new patented mechanism, so that's why our team definitely spent more time trying to prove out and really test, as you saw in the lab, and really, validate that, hey, the new mechanisms are stronger, more robust, and gonna deliver a better experience, where the cable, one, is longer, there's more resistance level, it's actually smoother and even more consistent. There's wider angles too that you can train from, and it's easier to service as well in the field with, parts like the cable, normal wear and tear part, but that, hey, it's easy to replace in the field with one hand tool.
What's the name of this thing? Someone told me you don't even have a name yet. You're shipping out in a few months. You don't have a name yet.
Mike, are we allowed to tell them names?
We can say the name.
So this is going to be a part of a new series here, and we're going to make it as simple as possible for people, and with that Ancore name.
Okay.
And we're gonna add a nice X right here.
Ancore X. I like it.
So
I like it.
this is going to be part of that X series. So it's Ancore X. Just flows right through into the name.
I mean, how does it feel? I mean, 6 years later, and we look seeing at the pennants on the back of the wall, and you can see it's not only like MLB, NHL, NBA. I mean, NBA. It's like all the colleges too. What kind of validation does that give you?
It's pretty amazing. I can't say we would have thought that we would be in those places. It's definitely, I think we were so relentless of like, hey, we can make this work, and we gotta solve a problem. I would say that's the biggest thing as we talk about new design too, is that we want to kind of fall in love with the problem, not with our solution to it. And that's hence why the design is so different too, because it wasn't, hey, just make bigger resistance plates. It was like, hey, there's a different type of customer that has different needs. We need to ground up, adapt the product and solve their problem. And so that was kind of the same thing at the time, realizing how many people had the problem of just space saving and access to cables, and realizing that it was all these professional teams, that was a problem for them, all these colleges, high schools, physical therapy clinics, even the military and like deployment kits and other things. Like, we would have never thought that all these opportunity spaces existed, and it kind of just spoke to the versatility of it. So for us, it was amazing validation. I think, when we were walking through, you noticed about like Francis Ngannou, his pictures
the MMA
up on
fighter.
the wall.
Yeah.
And Mike kind of set that up for us like early on, right? His coach reached out for the training tool because it was something they could use in the octagon for training for resisted, punching and pressing, different harness resistance too, that normally they're not able to hook that up in different spaces in the gym. And so that was really cool that we're sitting, and we were still in the garage, and it's like, oh, he just sent us a picture of Francis Ngannou, world heavyweight champion, using the product. So those things are, things you can't even predict.
I mean, it's funny because obviously a lot of the gym bros that are watching this video or just are out there, they don't think about having like a small amount of space. But if you have a physical therapy facility or you have like a senior citizen center, you're trying to get like a lot of stuff into a small space. And one of the great things about the Ancore is that you have like a rail system that literally comes off the wall, like what, an inch and a half?
Yeah,
and it takes up no space whatsoever. And then you would throw this on, you can slide it up and down, and it's just so highly functional that you can put a bunch of these in a small space or along a wall, and you're not actually going to inhibit the rest of your facility.
Here's the origin. One is when you think of our product, the product that you have, the Ancore PRO or the Gen 1, the way it functions, where you can mount it to a rack, it's stuck, sturdy in place, you can use it, and then you can unmount it, move it somewhere else, like a ship's anchor. And then also where we started in Swampscott was right near the water. So on the North Shore of Boston. And there was an anchor, old ship's anchor outside near the property too. So, we kind of liked this anchor element of it. And then adding that kind of core element in terms of the way the spelling is. We liked how that added kind of a health, kind of denotation of strength.
One thing I really want to touch upon, and I don't think people realize that everything that you're building is designed, engineered, and assembled here in the USA. Now, very often people will design something, they'll engineer it, they'll come up with the proof of concept, a beta, something that's ready to produce, and then they ship it to the People's Republic of overseas.
First off, obviously there's an element of, deep inside ourselves, we feel that's the right thing and that's what we want to do. But beyond that, because if it didn't make sense from a business model standpoint, right, you can't sustain it, then you can't do it anyway. It sounds nice. So for us, big things were control. So control over the process. One was when we initially launched, obviously we're building them ourselves, and a lot of people did tell us, even for that first Gen 1, like, have someone else build it. Like, that's not the value add. But for us, we knew that, one, the engineering and innovation around the product was going to be the most important thing and the longer term really driver of growth, because we knew that the Gen 1 isn't our end all be all. It's not, hey, we're gonna go produce 1 million of these and just go sell them. No, it was like, this is our first generation. We know it works probably for this population really well, but we know it's probably could be better for this population over here. And we're gonna have to make improvements over time. And that's kind of the approach we took, of that. One, it allows us to phase in those improvements when we went from the Gen 1 to the Pro unit, and then continue to kind of build around, one, our quality capabilities, servicing capabilities. Like, customer service has been a huge thing. One thing that I really learned early on was like, hey, if someone's selling you a piece of equipment, whether it's a home gym and definitely even a commercial facility, like they tell you, hey, it's never gonna have a problem, it's never gonna break.
Yeah.
They're probably not telling you the truth.
Yeah, most
And so for us, we know things wear down, right? We try to keep it simple and reliable with a mechanical system. You know, that's what we really believe in. But the reality is it's gonna wear, but okay, how is our servicing and how's our customer support? And hence, you know, showing you, we put the name, pen and paper, you know what I mean, on every order that goes out the door, a handwritten note. And we've done that since the garage of just like building on those things because we knew there were other things that kind of center around that, hey, we're building it here type mentality. But then, you know, from cost control too, of like, if you have quality issues and you can't control them, there's a cost to that. So the idea is sometimes, you know what I mean, we got to learn when cheap is expensive.
Yeah.
And sometimes going cheap can be expensive and cost you in other ways that might not be dollars today, but might be dollars later or some other kind of trade-off or opportunity cost. So at the same time, you know, there were other elements inside where we thought it was the right thing. And where I grew up, you know, kind of surrounded in the audio industry, seeing other family friends, family members who work in, you know, some of these shops. And something about that was, you know, unique about, hey, actually building and being a part of that, I think, creation process, we knew would be important to, our overall vision as we grow the company.
All right, fam, they actually told me that they would all subscribe to my YouTube channel if I took part in one of their workouts. So let's just give it a go. Well, I am absolutely spent. If you made it this far in the video, as usual, thanks for watching and don't save anything for the trip back.
He's not coming back.